I think this is a great beginning for the renewal spirit of Van Dyke and Brownsville, period, when young and older people could come together and enjoy themselves. We had a wonderful time, so I hope won't be the last time. It's just the beginning of a renewal of the community and the young and old people getting together.
It's a very good idea to have the 60th anniversary for Van Dyke.
But why do you think it's good?
We can all get together, have a wonderful time, because we need that togetherness. It's coming back to where it was when I first moved around here. You know, there were a lot of nice stores, and I see the stores are coming back. The people, you know, they're coming back together, you know, which is very good, because we need that.
I have worked with Community Solution. I'm also working with the Tenant Patrol in the community. My goal is to work in the medical field. I had done my internship at Brookdale Hospital as a medical assistant. Being nominated is feel like a positive thing, a thing that other youth could look at me as a good example. Those that's even struggling with coming out the court system, trust me, it's a good thing to have a good role model like me in the community, because you will need one day, or your kids will need one day.
Things has changed a lot.
Things changed, yeah, a big change. Nice and clean, but now it's filthy.
Do you think it's going to get better? You think it's getting better?
Oh, what you say?
Do you think it's getting better?
Yeah, I hope it get better.
Well, when I first moved here in 1972, it was beautiful. The grass and everything was nice. You couldn't even walk on the grass. If you walked on the grass, you would have to pay a fine. Everything, we had a guard in the building, and so everything was kept up at that time. Well, one thing, you know, keep the building up, paint the buildings, keep the lobby clean, keep the outside clean. Instead of putting it in the outside in front of the door, put it in the garbage instead of bringing it to the side. Drop it down the incinerator, and that'll help us a lot. We'll have no rats running around all the time. So whatever, you know, we just need to work together. All these young people that's here, they need to come together as one, but we can get more things done.
I think they've made enormous accomplishments, and there's still more to come. Ms. Kinner is a very vivacious fighter, and she's made known to NYCHA about some of the displeases, some of the things that she is displeased about. But I think overall, when all is said and done, she will come out victorious.
I grew up out in the Van Dyke projects on that 412 Sutter Avenue. I grew up there, went to junior high school here, Thomas Jefferson High School, before I left and went into the Army. Well, it's changed since we grew up in this community. At that time, you know, this was a family community. Everybody got along with each other. I had some Chinese live in the community, you know, Jewish people and Italians. But we all got up together, grew up together, played together, and there's more community than I see it being today. And so it was take a lot of work to get back to where it once was, but we got to keep trying.
We pray, oh God, that you would comfort the families that have lost loved ones, that are now grieving and sad.
And I'm here really to celebrate with you today, because this housing has been here for our community and communities that preceded us for 60 years. Many of you have been a part of this community here at Van Dyke, and you have continued to hold this community together, to raise your families oftentimes under trying circumstances, and you've maintained community notwithstanding that. And I want to say to you today that I am committed. I am committed to seeing that this community continue to flourish, that all of the changes that are being put out there, that without your participation and ownership of those changes, that they will not get my okay. Because I want to make sure that those who have kept the faith with the community, who have struggled through the hard times, are there up front to reap the good times.
I think today is a beautiful celebration. Happy 60th birthday, Van Dyke. It's a true testimony to the stakeholders of this neighborhood. And it's just so funny to me that it's 60 years that we're celebrating, and at the same time we are fighting for its vitality and for the future of Van Dyke. You know, I keep hearing about next generation, but we've reached next generation generations ago. And at this point, we're probably on the 4th and 5th generation here at Van Dyke Houses. And I think that that's something to be celebrated, it's something to be honored, it's something that we should revere, because this is home for so many individuals, and we still have some 60-year residents who are here still celebrating with us today. And in honor of all of that, I say congratulations to you, Van Dyke, for withstanding the test of time.
Happy birthday, Van Dyke.
Good.
I grew up in Brownsville, between Brownsville and Ocean Hill, up the hill, not too far, about 3-4 minutes from here. We have to go back to the old days of where our neighbors didn't have to tell us that they were hungry. We knew they were hungry based upon conditions and situations, and we knocked on the door and we brought food over. That is the kind of Brownsville that I would like to see. And again, Lisa Kenner she did a great job. NYCHA was there. The food was great. The music was great. It was just outstanding. I mean, it was a heartfelt event, and I was just so honored to be here.
We was one of the first families to move into Van Dyke. We've been on Soul Train, sung at the Casablanca, Radio City Music Hall, #1 hit Sugar Pie Guy. Without no further ado, meet and greet the original Joneses! Come on, Sam, Funky, Wendell.
Say I really need you, there's no exaggeration. To say I'm gonna please you, is not just speculation. To say I'm gonna keep you with me is my determination. You know just how it feels when you love someone deep inside. I have always wanted you for my love, for my future bride. To say that we belong together is not mere conversation. To say that you're the best thing for me means you're my inspiration. You see that I'm the man who will stand always by your side.
Well, it's like coming back home, family reunion, and not only that, to see some of my old friends, and not only that, to also show that there are positive things that come out of Brownsville. Everything is not negative, okay? And we started in Brownsville, and the Joneses name was started in Brownsville, which a lot of people don't know, but we're just happy here, not only that, to give back to the community, and say thank you. So we just want to say thank you, Van Dyke, thank you, Brownsville, we love you, we didn't forget you.
Nope.
And God bless you.
Well, it was a lot of good memories, bad memories, but it was all like family. When I looked at the audience, it was a family. People that believed in us. A lot of people passed and gone, but the offspring just still remember us. And I thank them for remembering us because we always represented Brownsville.
I mean, we used to sing a cappella on the bench.
In the hallways,
and
subways.
And, you know, and we always had fans, you know. They always supported us.
They've always been there.
So, you know, without support, you know, even though we still strive and struggle to get where we need to go, but being supported, man, just helps us to keep going and don't give up. And that's what they have done. And we, as you see, we see a lot of our friends, you know what I'm saying, still came to show their love to us. So I want to thank that, you know. So Van Dyke, you know what I'm saying, it really, grade school, you know, junior high school, high school, you know.
That's a good time.
We was here a long time, even when it first began, when there was no grass on
one building.
One building, you know. So, you know, like I said, it's coming back home. And to be able to come back home before God takes us home, you know what I'm saying? I feel joy in my heart. This has really made me feel joy in my heart.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling.
Yes, it is. I thank God that, you know, all these years we're still together. You know, we've been very blessed as far as surviving. So many of our friends have gone. Many of our friends have gone. We're still here, thank God. And I just want to give a blessing to him and for us to at least give us a few more years so we can get out there and do it one more time.
Yeah. And my father was one of the original people that came to Van Dyke when Van Dyke was just ground and dirt and what have you. So we've been here he's been over here 60 years and whatnot, so we're part of the 60-year celebration.
How did you like the celebration?
It was beautiful. Everything was beautiful, and the Jones was beautiful, and what have you. We grew up with them in the same projects and what have you. So we knew them as little boys. We all went to school together, what have you, and graduated together. So it was a beautiful sight.
I lived in a building with them, so I didn't grow up here, but I lived here 12 years, and I love living here, and the people are beautiful, down to earth and everything, you know. And I am back for the 60th anniversary, and I had a great time.
I loved it. I had a great time. I'm a father. Happy to be here. Things have changed. It ain't like it used to be when we grew up here. The kids are different. People are different. So, but it could get better. Hoping and pray it get better.
How do you feel the kids are different?
Well, lack respect.
The music had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah, very lack respect.
And we lived in the 383 Livonia Avenue, my family and I. And my oldest sister has a daughter named Jarita. And Jarita her father is a Jerry Till, their oldest brother. So my niece is a Till as well, okay? And her grandfather, their father, Samuel Till, was a pillar of the community from the start. He had a softball team for the youth. There were so many young men in this community that, you know, that are their age and older, that could talk about how they were kept out of trouble because of Samuel Till and the fact that he had this softball team. He was a deacon in his church across the street on Livonia Avenue. And he also was, they also had summer jobs with the summer youth programs for the jobs, right? What do you call it?
Neighborhood Youth Corps. Neighborhood Youth Corps.
So,
and then he was to the patrol, what have you. He worked for Housing Authority.
Yes.
It was great to see a lot of the old community come back together. I'm a 25-year resident of this community, so I do a lot and I meet a lot of people. So it was wonderful to see all the old timers come back home to show love for Miss Kenner and for Van Dyke and for Brownsville.
It was good to see old people come back to Van Dyke. I haven't seen some people in 20 or 30 years and they came back. So that gives a testimony what Van Dyke really means to them and what it could be to everybody else. Oh, it was so good to see young people that lived in Van Dyke come and perform poetry, the praise dance. Little girl, I call her a little girl, but her name is Kamaya. She did an excellent job. Miss Sylvia Cunningham, who is the president of Todd Hill in Staten Island, She came all the way from Staten Island, but she grew up in Brownsville, so her heart is still here. She did a wonderful job at 74 years old. Even the original Joneses, this was their debut. They haven't performed since 1974, and they came back home. And then today is Father's Day. It means a whole lot that they came back and they really enjoyed themselves. They want to come back again. I just think that everybody enjoyed themselves, and everybody looked lovely in their white. And everybody got a T-shirt to take home so they can remember this day. It was nice to see even little kids dressed up in white. Little baby, it caught my eye when he walked through the door with his mother and father and his sister. That's what it's all about. Family getting together and enjoying themselves. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I know I did, and I hope you did too.
I have always wanted